I was just thinking, I don't know, because like this whole thing is like crazy, right? This symbol, and so the moon revolves around the Earth. Crazy, lunatic, lunar, circular. I don't know.
So it isn't the moon that smites you per se, it's the effects that the moon has on the enemies who might seek to destroy you. And the moon, if I recall, is an opportunity for your enemies to attack you by moonlight.
Blessed be thy lips that utter this sacred name. Goddess of the dark moon, enter this priestess. Be with us. Join us now.
In the emergency room at Park City Hospital, I was an emergency room technician. The bus would come or arrive around midnight during a full moon. Our emergency room was loaded with people. Knifings, gunshot wounds, motor vehicle accidents, fights, lacerations from fights and things, and it all happened around midnight during a full moon. The emergency room became crazy with people. It happened every month.
I don't know if people really do. I think it depends on the person, but I guess I don't really think it has anything to do with the full moon. People are just crazy in general.
There's traces of it in the ancient Greek and the Roman world. The Roman word lunatic means someone influenced by the moon. But there are enough hints that people were a little concerned about, particularly the full moon, about how people conducted themselves. Madness is very strongly associated with wolves, so it's not too big a step to jump from madness to wolves to the moon for the ancient Greeks and the Romans. And werewolfism, lycanthropy, is associated both with the moon and insanity in humans. So I think there really is an ancient connection there.
I think werewolves are cool. They're pretty interesting.
I don't think they exist. I just there's not enough evidence to prove that they exist.
I think it's more superstitious that if somebody were to act crazy, I think it was just because they knew a full moon was there and not just like on the being of the full moon.
The Christian church sees itself as an illustration of the moonlight because it reflects the light of the sun. And during Easter time, we celebrate our Easter service as the first Sunday in springtime, and the reason for that is because the moon and the sun are both visible at the same time. The sunlight is reflected off the moon, which is an illustration or a symbol of the church reflecting the light of the sun, Jesus Christ, S-O-N, and we see the sun, who is Christ rising from the grave. So the sun rose from the grave, or the sunlight rises in the east, and then the moon sets in the west. It's also a symbol for us of the world being in total light. We go from the sunlight of Christ to the sunlight of the moon. To be honest with you, that was taken from the pagan ritual. They adopted the spring ritual of the pagans and applied it and adopted it to their own theology. And so that's how we have Easter as a movable feast.
Seen witchcraft, Wicca, read some things, but I wasn't really full-time into it. I had some friends that were interested. I was kind of gathering knowledge. And the first time I read this Charge of the Star Goddess, I knew I'd found the goddess in my life, because it was like a spark being lit, and it just grew and grew. And I felt more connected and more at peace and more alive than I'd felt in a long time. A circle is cast, a circle is cast.
Lady of the full moon, I draw you down into this priestess.
Goddess of the dark moon, enter this priestess. Be with us. Join us now.
Selena is generally, in most early Greek, she is the moon goddess, and she is not a huntress. She's associated with a chariot, which is the counterpart to her brother's chariot, the chariot of the sun. And she doesn't exactly rule the night. There's a separate goddess of night named Night, Nux, but she is the watcher of the night. And when things happen at night, Selena is often a witness. Selena didn't get exactly what she wanted. She wanted immortality for Endymion, but it's a kind of immortality manquée, as the French would say. It doesn't quite work out. And Endymion, in sleeping, is very close to death, yet he isn't dead. To live forever, Endymion, as they lie around and sleep, his sexual activity, only during moon period, keeps him completely different from other human beings.
In the radiance of the darkness, we learn what we've hidden. We've learned what we have hidden from ourselves, and we take it out and dust it off and discover it.
I want my children to remember me, to honor the earth they stand on, to honor the moon, the stars, and the sky above, and to see me in everything they touch. For I am the beauty of the green earth and the white moon among the stars.
Well, most of us look at the moon as a manifestation of the goddess, both allegorically and in some ways in real life. You know, we look at the goddess and deity as both inside us and transcendent outside of us. And a lot of times the moon is about the transcendent divine, especially the sacred feminine. And so the moon, because it changes phases throughout the month and our body changes throughout the month, the moon is a mirror for that. I think part of what it is we try to look at things in totality, and that with every ending is a beginning, and so completion is just one more step into another journey.
You could contemplate all of human history by thinking about how humans responded to the full moon in other times. And in that sense, it's like looking at a photograph of the entire history of the human race.
There's definitely a man in the moon. I can see him.